But we already voted on the cell phone, so.
Okay, here we are at the February 15th Budget Committee meeting. Unfortunately, with only 2 of 3 of the committee members here, we're going to record this in hopes that Jim can watch it. We're not going to take any formal votes here, but we're going to have some give and take in terms of questions that have come up before. And we're going to start with recreation, which is on pages 9 and 10. Todd Smith is here. And before we had comments, concerns, questions on his salary. You voted on the cell phone, so I guess it's unfortunate we can't vote, but what questions or concerns are there about the salary that were unresolved the last time, I guess?
My question was the justification for the salary at $54,000. This was an amount that our previous director was up at after 15 years of being here. This was also a salary when it was Parks and Rec Department, and now it's just a Recreation Department. So I feel that as a beginning director, it should be less than the $54,000. I think it should be around the $45,000 range. Obviously, if he comes in that year and then he gets another raise next year. As an assistant before, he was making $15, and then it was jumped up to the $23 an hour. And so I believe that's the 2.5% increase.
There was a 2.5%. The 2.5% would be part of that 54. Yeah. I guess I had counted that before Todd jumps in here. I had counted that by saying that I think he's doing more and new and different things that are much appreciated than the previous director was doing in the recreation side. It's true that the parks things have moved over to Public Works, most of them, the overwhelming majority. But I think the higher level recreation organization and programming that we want to do, I don't want Todd Smith running around with a lawnmower and a weed whacker. And the previous director was doing a good deal of that. Putting in more hours than...
the previous director was also the one that developed this whole program, that developed the Funergy program. No?
Am I allowed to talk? Lisa Tudor and myself, we came up with Funergy. We started it and I directed it.
Okay, but Mike promoted it as director. He's the one that made the presentations, and he's the one that held the special meetings for each time that they needed money for when the budget came up on why we needed the money for the Parks and Rec Department.
I'm working 60 hours a week. I guarantee I work more hours than anybody else in this town. Maybe one other. That's about 20 extra hours from full-time, which I don't mind working. The last director you were talking about had a 50-year-old person who ran the teen camp for him, who oversaw the day camp for him, who co-started Funergy and directed Funergy for him, who ran cribbage on Thursdays, cribbage on Saturdays, and also worked basketball for him. And that was me. And I don't have that guy, but I could hire him if you want to give me an extra 20 hours at $15 an hour, which would be about another $16,000. Instead, I'm telling you that your director will do it, and I'm just asking for the salary. So I'm actually saving you probably about $10,000 doing it this way.
Do we know, what was the previous director's name?
Mike DeAngelis.
Okay, so Mike, what was his starting when he first stepped into the position? Obviously, it doesn't sound like there was as much as what you're doing now. But what was his
He'd been here
salary?
14 years. That list that Donna has doesn't go that far back. I'm guessing he was in mid to upper 30s when he started.
I can go get it.
No, I don't even
I don't
think it
accept
was that. He was back in the 15.
No, he was higher than that, I believe.
30,000, not 30.
No, he got a big jump. It actually changed because when he started, it was probably around a $3,000 to $5,000 budget for the Parks and Rec director, which was back in the early 2002, 2003, because it was a very small department.
Well, I think we need to concentrate more on the here and now than
Right.
going forward than where we've been. I think that's to be fair, because things have changed very appreciably and very positively in terms of what Todd and Lisa have been doing. He makes a good point in terms of dollars versus time. If we were to hire somebody else to do what he's doing now, there would be another part-time person. And that's part of the reason that I think the 54 is justified, because of what he's doing and how he's doing it.
When I complete basketball, so I interrupt you on Saturday, it'll be my 13th day in a row, including last Saturday and Sunday. Saturdays, we're at the middle school basketball. They ask me to be there to make sure everything goes right, which is my 6th day, I have no problem. And Sunday, we have lacrosse sign up Sunday night. So this Saturday will be my 13th day in a row. I can pay people overtime to do it on Sunday and hire a guy, that I think is capable of managing the school on Saturdays and things like that, but it's gonna cost you a lot more than what you're paying me to do.
Any other discussion, questions, or concerns on salary issues? Since we're not voting today, we're kind of recording this for posterity, Jim to watch.
As far as the whole department, or?
Sure, yeah.
Okay, so you made mention last week on Lisa Tudor that you brought her salary up during the interim,
Yes.
and you feel that it can't go back.
Oh, it can go back if I'm told to make reductions here. I guess that's one thing that can be done, but I don't usually do that. If you want to make a recommendation to that effect, I mean, that's certainly within your purview. You folks are dealing with the numbers here, so if you have a suggestion, a recommendation to the selectmen that, to that effect, I think you can make that.
Okay.
What line are you on?
Line 226?
So you're still on salaries? Okay.
Yeah, would be
Yeah.
that one right there.
But I'm also on this report here, the salaries report.
Right, there was the increase.
So here's what she was making a year ago.
Okay,
And then when Mike DeAngelis left a year ago,
sure.
they bumped up her salary because she and Todd split the duties
Okay.
of what was going on. So now, they're keeping her at this salary and still giving her a 2.5% increase. So she's basically got a $4 increase an hour in 1 year.
Okay.
So I guess you should probably make that recommendation a week from tonight when all three of you are here,
Yes.
so.
But here's the thought, because, I mean, we also have to worry that Todd's going to burn himself out if he's working 60 hours a week, because that's a lot of hours that if we have that part-timer with his reduction, with Lisa's reduction, we could actually afford to have that part-time person that at least would be a backup for that department. Something to think about. We can't vote on it
Right.
tonight.
What are your thoughts on that?
I'm not gonna burn myself out. I'm very capable of working all the hours needed. First of all, Lisa's very important to me and the department. And if you guys can tell me what Lisa isn't doing correctly, or why she should be dropped and paid, I'll be glad to hear it. Or if you can tell me what Lisa does during the day, I'll be glad to hear it. She's very valuable. She helps in the teen camp. She sets up all the camps. She does all the paperwork. She gets together all the ads. I mean, you guys don't realize what we're doing over there. And come on over and check it out. We'll be glad to sit with you for a day or so. And then we can decide what goes on. But if you can give me one good reason why Lisa doesn't deserve it, or what I'm doing that I don't deserve this, I'll listen. Tell me what I can do better.
Yeah, that's all I have.
Okay. That's it for rec?
Can I
think-
continue for a second? I've now done this for a year, and I was going over some of the numbers. I think program payroll, instead of 120,000, I could do it again for 110,000.
Okay, so why don't we go,
227,
say again?
line 227.
227.
Thank you. What'd you say, 110, Todd?
Yes,
All right, so just put a 110 under the department recommendation column, column B with a question mark. What were the other ones you were thinking about?
program expense, instead of 60, 55,000.
This is on line 252 on page 10, next page. From 60 to 50?
55.
55.
And just the last thing, if I can have 2 more minutes. I know you voted on cell phones. Does that mean that that's etched in stone, or
That's their recommendation for that line at the present time. They can revisit that.
could I speak on it for 1 second? Is that okay? I'm not allowed to.
Why do you, I don't know, do you
Is it
want?
something we can revisit?
Yeah, we can, no,
Sure.
we can revisit, because you can make a motion to revisit a line,
I,
right? We can.
Oh, yeah, this is, you're an advisory committee. There's nothing wrong with
Yeah,
going
we
back
can
and
go
looking
back and
at,
forth.
look at a vote, so.
I'd be a proponent of hearing.
Thank you. I asked to have cell phones, let's take first for April, which I asked for $40 a month. She's a director of Bungie now, and she's a co-director of summer camp. Now, she starts at 6 o'clock in the morning. So if somebody wants to call out of work
In the building.
in the building here
Right.
for Bungie, which runs the school year, if somebody's gonna call out, it's gonna happen between 5 and 6 in the morning. Okay, but she answers the calls, and she also answers parents' calls if there's questions, if we're gonna be open, and things like that. She has to use her own cell phone, and we're not paying her for the time she's answering call-outs and things like that. We have 2 options. Number 1, either we pay her the hour from 5 to 6 in the morning, and again in the afternoon when the staff is coming and the kids are coming, from 2 to 3. Or we can give her $40 a month, I think, to help her out with the cell phone. Now, if you'd rather pay her the hour from 5 to 6 and 2 to 3 to answer the calls at her house and stuff, and not pay her phone, that equals 10 hours a week, times 52 weeks is 520 hours, times $14, which is $7,280. Or we can give her $480 for a cell phone and say thanks for giving that extra time. And that doesn't include the camp calls, and parent calls, and Bungie calls, and me calling. This is a no-brainer and a bargain.
What line is this?
This is line 239 on page 9. I'm sorry, 241 on page 9.
We can't ask employees to answer the phone when it's their phone and on their time if we're not offering any help at all.
To be fair, I think that's accurate. They're not the only people that do that, but it's kind of townwide, and we all assume that everybody has a cell phone nowadays, and most people do. But he makes a good point about between 5 and 6 in the morning. His day starts, he wakes up at 5, because if April or somebody else calls in sick, he's coming in to cover the shift.
I'm up at 4:30, dressed at 5, in case somebody calls out every morning. And once I find out the staff is coming in, then I can take my time to come in and work or not. But other than that, it's me.
Gary, can I make a comment?
Sure.
I think if we have employees of the town doing business for the town, using their own personal telephone, I don't care what they do, if they're doing something for the town, we need to reimburse them something for that. And if he's asking for $40 instead of the $7,200 he was talking about, that should be etched in stone for any town employee that's using their personal phone to do town business.
And I've said before, I think it was a week ago, we may come out of this with a cell phone policy that you, the Board of Selectmen, may have to go through. We have some guidelines and maybe a third pricing line, I don't know, but Certainly, this is expanding. Cell phones are expanding. They're very valuable for getting in touch with people. So I don't know how the selectmen feel about that. Ted just made his thoughts known, but they'll make their choice in their own column here, so.
The next one's Lisa. I'm not sure if you guys know this, but myself and Lisa run Teen Camp. And we did it when Lisa was the director.
Where do you do that and how long is it?
Teen Camp is 6 weeks, 3 days a week, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and we take the teens on a trip every day. And one of the reasons I continue to do it is to make sure we have full control. We're actually going on places like paintball and taking the kids deep sea fishing and doing other things every day. We actually leave water ball every day and go on a trip. And before you had a director doing whatever it was, now I'm actually doing both jobs. I'm running Teen Camp, Lisa's my assistant there, and I'm still doing all this stuff in the office. So that's saving us an incredible amount of money. You know, Lisa, I could very easily say, I'm gonna sit in the office in the summer with my feet up because there's no whole lot to do while camp's on. Lisa's gonna sit there and we'll hire somebody to do Teen Camp, an assistant person. So the savings is incredible, what you're actually getting.
But
And
when
cell
you,
phone wise now, you know, Lisa is taking, you know, calls by me all day. When you asking her to do it, she's taking Teen Camp calls during the summer and other camp calls, so she was the other person that I put in for.
but the big difference is there. The previous director did not go on these trips and do that type of thing, and you're doing that.
I ran the Teen Camp for him, and I oversaw the day camp, even though we had a director there, I still oversaw.
Right.
He would stay in the office. Never did he have anything to do with the camps, except, you know, help doing the registrations and getting it ready, and we like to go to both camps.
And I think that's a big thing the Budget Committee and the Selectmen need to understand. It's very different in terms of operationally how things are happening right now. Todd's very much more involved in the day-to-day.
So I think what I'm asking for, $1,920, the other one was $80 for myself. Not that I had to, I even got a special service when I went to Aruba last year, so I could call them every day and they can contact me, which I paid for, to make sure everything is going good. So the amount of calls I take is, and texts is hundreds a week, Saturdays, Sundays, anytime. And I'm asking you for barely $2,000, and we really give a 24-hour customer service for that money to the people. Facebook questions, we have 1,000 people that follow us on Facebook now, and if you look on our Facebook, everyone's answered within 45 minutes every question, and that's Lisa and April and myself on our own time answering them. So it doesn't stop when we leave this building. We got one dedicated crew over there, and this is cheap money to make sure everything goes the way it goes, so we can do things like not newspaper in front of you.
Is it true that you still have waiting lists for all these programs too?
Yeah, we sell out of our camps and our Teen Camp, and Bungee is maxed out, yes.
Okay, and based on what you said a few minutes ago, line 227 and 252, you're willing to, you readjust it and you can drop your entire budget by $15,000 and still continue to do what you're doing today?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Okay.
And last year, if you go over the last 2 years, last year we beat the figures by $40,000, and we also returned $17,000 back to the budget. So it was about $57,000, I believe, that went back into the general fund. The numbers are there. We're doing it.
Anything else for Todd?
No?
Okay.
Well, actually, Todd, I just want to say one thing about the phones, because we've been looking at them across the board. We didn't just single you out. One of the things I brought up last week was the fact that we're paying between $10,000 and $12,000 townwide for a cell phone, and it's not, we're paying just a flat fee. Every month somebody's getting a $40 credit or whatever, so you're getting $40 extra or $80 extra a month. So for you, you're asking like another $1,000 a year on top of your salary. but everybody else, there are other people that get the cell phone reimbursement. And a lot of others just have the cell phone anyway. It's not as if we're asking these people to get a special cell phone. It's people are using their own cell phone, and it's convenient because they want to text back and forth to people or whatever. So the question is, do we give everybody that across the board?
First of all, if you're talking about everybody, I don't know what the other department's doing and what they're doing with their phones, but I know when you're handling 150 children in a day, and you have Matt here that can't reach somebody, because none of us will answer our phones because they're our phones, I think this guy's gonna be pretty upset, okay? I know my department, and I know what we need for phones. And, you know, just because somebody's nice and they have something, that doesn't make us, that we should make them use it. That's not right. I mean, we all have cars, maybe there shouldn't be any mileage. We're gonna drive anyways. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Phones are very important to communication in a rec department. And if you don't answer a call or answer a parent real quick where their kid is or what's going on, there's a lot of trouble. And I think for this little money, and I'm not talking about the other departments, I'm sure, of course, firemen need phones and things like that, but, you know, it's very important that they have their phones and they'll answer them, and we know they're gonna answer them.
Kind of more if I can say something?
We don't have a chair here, so
Okay.
go ahead.
So, a little bit more concerning that we're talking about compensatory time on a video, and what's compensatory time in hours, when we're reimbursing for a cell phone for the hours worked outside of the normally scheduled time, because that could be a really bigger issue. But we have a lot of hours that we're not paying for, obviously, and that is probably the bigger problem. We're reimbursing through the $40 or the allowance for the cell phone dollars for some of the staff members, and for the time that they're covering.
You're talking about your staff now, not rec.
Yeah, well, it's
Right.
right to follow, and he's talking about that for those hours that they're covering before and after the shift.
Yep.
Or before and after those designated time slots. And if that's determined as a compensatory hour of pay, then it should be paid. And obviously, the dollars are far more with the $7,000+ for him. And I know for us, you know, we're running about 4 different applications on the phone that, I think last night it went off 3 times in the middle of the night. And not just for me. It goes off for 56 people. We would love to put you guys on it. I asked for your cell phone, I'm going to put you on it. Because I thought it'd be great for you guys to see this stuff that we're seeing all the time. You'd quickly get annoyed. I know my wife gets annoyed with it quite frequently because it's painful. Especially in the middle of the night constantly when it's ding, 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 or vibrating, whatever it does. But my point being is that there are hours that people are working and doing things that are not being billed or charged to the town of Waterville as hourly rate. It's a lot of time. A lot of time.
Hey, I have sympathy for your wife because, you know, my husband worked at a job where he was on 24-hour call. You know, something broke down, and he lived 50 miles away from his job. So if something happened at 1 o'clock in the morning, there was the phone ringing, and he had to leave and go. So,
But I think what I'm saying
and
is
he
the
doesn't. He
dollars-
didn't get any extra compensation
Right.
for that time.
Did he get paid for the time when he went in?
No, because he was a salaried worker, and
You could make everybody's salary if you want, but you're going to meet the salary
yeah,
requirements too.
exactly. No,
So
but I'm
which
just
way
saying,
you
he, you know, it depends on. Government works a whole lot different than private business too, because I
And we don't
had
have-
somebody
we
who
don't
worked for
call
the
back
state of New
times or
Hampshire,
anything.
and they have comp time. You know, if you have to work extra, you get comp time, and you can take it off at the end of the year.
Well, he doesn't. I can work him 100 hours a week and not pay him any
I know.
overtime and give him any comp time, which I think,
Technically, in some jurisdictions, he would be able to come back and say, "You owe me 4 weeks vacation at the end of the year."
not if he's salaried exempt.
I don't think,
No.
yeah.
No, can't do that. All right, anything else in the recreation cell phone or?
Actually, I had a question on the cost of the ad, because that was part of our thing on how much this ad cost. Do you have the fig? You can email us the figures on it, because we're not going to make any decisions till next week. But I was just curious. I know that they have their ads. You could probably go to their site.
I think we gotta come with this time.
You get a break.
What's that?
They get a break on the price. It's not a full page, full price.
That line went from 3,400 to $5,000. I think that was the genesis of that question.
What line was that?
250.
Yep, on page 10.
Okay.
And that's because you have a lot more programs too, isn't it, Todd?
Exactly. Exactly.
Because
That's
you're
the
doing a lot more of your senior citizens.
Seniors are going on often somewhere around 10 to 12 trips a year now. You know, senior luncheons are coming back. We're starting to talk about stuff with toddlers, starting programs for them that we don't have much for.
How many neighbor towns are we working with on those trips?
There's usually like 2 or 3 of the big ones now, but it goes out to about 11 towns, 12 towns.
So when you run like the one up to the botanical gardens for the Christmas lights thing, that was with either 57 adult ed or?
Yeah, no, it's adult ed. It's only Rex, Buxton Rec, and the Hollis Rec was the other people that filled that bus. The flower show, which is in March, that's out of Buxton. So, you know, we advertise their trips, they advertise theirs, and we're able to fill buses.
Yeah, sometimes we pay for the bus and realize the revenue, and sometimes other people do.
Most of our senior trips, we do not make a profit. I'll stress it. We don't make a profit on our senior trips. But, you know, we do it till they break even. These are the people that built our town. We think we should give back to them. So I don't make profit on seniors. I'm just happy we were able to get them out of the house doing stuff. Same thing with the meals. They get the luncheons for $5. It's a great meal. They're so happy to do it. They're so happy to be out.
They're good.
They are good.
This is the way we give back to the community, to give back to our seniors. So.
If I may, before we leave.
Still in rec?
Yeah.
Okay, where are you?
Line.
Page 9?
Yep, on 241.
Yep.
Just a real quick cell phone point. I know that you brought it up, but could you remind me, the 1920, whose cell phone bills are those covering? That's your 80.
Right.
And 240s.
April.
And 240s.
And 240. April, which is the director of energy, and Lisa, which is my assistant, and she also is my assistant at team camps or camps.
And yours is the 80 because you're full time. Are these two ladies part time?
He's 40 now.
You're asking for the 80.
That's where the difference is.
I see. Okay.
He's
Thank
asking to go to 4 to 80 and add 2 more 40s for other staffers.
Okay, that makes sense. Thank you.
$1,920 on a 24-hour customer service to the citizens of Waterboro. You can't beat
Thank you, sir.
that. You're welcome. Anything else? Thank you very much for listening.
If there is, we'll let you know.
Good luck tonight, Todd.
Thank you.
Thanks, Todd.
Yeah, we won't. We can't finish tonight because we're not making decisions. So we'll be back here next Thursday. So even if the rest of the night goes a whole lot faster than that. So thank you. Public safety, page 12 and 13. And then if there's any questions on the budget, we're in the operating budget now, which I don't remember there was. If there is, we can entertain those now. If not, then we can move to CIP and talk about a fire truck. To Donna and Brianna, do you remember any operational budget questions that we didn't have? That we didn't have answered, rather. I don't.
Actually, there was one on the salaries,
Where are we now?
Okay.
line 307.
307. Oh, for Laura, yep.
And Laura, that she's being up to 32 hours a week.
Yes.
She was also given a raise during the year.
Yes.
What constitutes raises during the year over and above the cost of living increases that?
Well, if a merit increase that I feel is warranted, I'll give it. That's under my authority to do that. And I think she was undercompensated, I guess, if you will, when you looked at other jobs of a similar nature. She was making less than everybody else in similar but different jobs, including Lisa Tudor, including Tammy Bellman, positions like that. Significantly less.
Okay, and as a 32 hours, is she gonna qualify for insurance?
Yes. She's prorating it now at 25, so she's contributing more to that for this fiscal year.
And does the insurance line reflect that?
Yes,
Okay,
yes, she's in insurance.
because she's a family plan?
She's,
Yes.
is now or
Yes.
going to be?
Is.
She is now.
Is now
Right.
Okay.
4 or 5?
4.
So we filled my estimate of 4, the people that would come on to, for that 50%.
Told you all.
And they
that-
pay the
that-
same, they pay
excuse
the
me,
same whether it's 2 or
There's
3?
6 in the family.
Correct.
There's 6 in the family.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know all the names without the list.
14 single and 6 family.
Anything else in the budget?
No, I didn't have anything.
Okay, then why don't we move to CIP, which is page 19, please. Talk about a fire truck, and you had already made your decision on line 505, which was the water main to the central station. You had said not this year. So the other thing is row 509, the fire truck. And the 55,000 is principal and interest estimate, which we may not need this next year, but we think that it should be in here like this for the voters to approve the actual purchase, and then this 55 would move down into the leases section, I think 13 earlier in the budget, the years after. So we're not going out and raising that 475 from the taxpayers all at once. We're doing that over 10 years. And if you have
And realistically, you're 10 to 12 months for build time and delivery, so, and by the time it's all said and done, even if it was to be approved, that the order time isn't gonna happen until, I don't see it happening until September, by the time you've done the whole process, so but. to
So
me-
we would not take delivery and get a bill until after July 1st, 2019, is your point?
That's what I believe is
Right.
gonna happen, would happen, but,
Because we don't know the answer on this until the second week of June.
correct.
So that's the reasoning. We can make a decision now, but until the voters say, go ahead and buy these things, nothing really happens
Right.
until the June 12th town meeting, which is now a referendum election.
So the whole fire truck comes down to, if you want me to elaborate some more on that, aside from the spec sheet or the document that you have, the specs are about 60-something pages long. And we did that looking at a baseline. Truck costs on the apparatus are rising generally every year by $15,000 to $20,000. This truck that we're talking about for replacement is a 1998 Ford. It was a smaller truck that was originally purchased to fit into the old station. Obviously, very small building at the time. The compartment space is just over 100 cubic feet of storage space in the truck. Trucks today are configured much differently to meet today's needs of the modern fire service and what we're delivering for services every day. The last truck that we purchased was in 2007. That was engine 4, and that is also a pumper. And the payment that was just, that we done this year, that we're currently, $69,000 under the leases, was for the ladder and tanker together. So we end up, we had a big snafu 10 years ago, if anybody remembers, that we had a lot of trucks that came together at once, needing to be replaced. We had a lot of stuff that was a maintenance headache and problematic. We created the CIP plan based on where we were then, and we've updated that every single year. And we've submitted that same document, gave a copy of it to you the last time, and identified based on what the selectmen's fixed asset policy is and what NFPA recommends for replacement fire apparatus. And then we look at maintenance and what the truck is like. It doesn't meet our needs today. It's capable of carrying 2 people marginally. Dave and I sit in the front seat with our turnout gear on, and we're rubbing knees. It's pretty tight. It's not conducive. and it's not conducive for what we're carrying. The harder part is because it's not able to carry a lot of the equipment that we have today. Engine 3 is not used, or as we would like to be able to use it in some cases, for some of the equipment. So we end up running engine 4 as primary in some of the slots on our run cards, because engine 4 was obviously configured differently when it was purchased in 07. And so between the two trucks, one obviously being purchased in 98, one almost 10 years later, engine 4 is almost comparably caught up to what engine 3 is for mileage and hours and for where we are. And we need that truck to last another 10 years. And the rate we're going right now, we won't make that happen. So we need to take engine 4 and slide that into the slot where engine 3 is. We run with 3 pumpers.
And again, engine 3 would be the one we'd be replacing.
Correct. We run with 3 pumpers, one at South and 2 at Central. Yeah, I can answer any questions or.
What's the, is there a resale value on the one that we have, or is it?
It all depends. We can knock on wood and there's no major problems. No. So like the used car salesman says, no issues. If we don't know of any problems, we can go out and market that truck. We can contract like we've done before. When we sold the 1990 Pierce, I believe we sold it, if I remember correctly, for $20,000 in that ballpark. If anybody remembers, I think it was $20,000 for that truck. We sold the Mack aerial scope for $10,000. There are a couple different companies out there that you can sell it to. They collect a percentage fee for it. But there are departments that may need a small truck, and that they offer you $20,000 for it. So would I anticipate $20,000? Yes. Can I guarantee you $20,000? No.
But not more than 20, probably.
Oh, you may be more than, I'm just using that as an example, sorry. But once we get ready to that point, then our plan would be to get rid of that truck. To remove it. And knowing that we have other trucks that constantly in a revolving cycle, that nothing's getting newer, it's getting older every year, so as we move forward, that rather than having 4 trucks at once, let's plan ahead so we're not behind the 8 ball. We did this once before, it was painful. I don't remember if anybody remembers the whole process. But it was really painful because we got behind the 8 ball, and then we've got many different trucks in front of us. And we've got a lot of issues in front of us now, but it doesn't get any better.
Yeah, just for buying trucks, if we don't pay attention to this, we could have to take out $1 million or $1.5 million bond just to buy, 2 or 3 vehicles. New ladder truck, new now, would what?
A brand new ladder truck runs between $8 and $1.2 million. 800 and 1.2 million. Not 1.2 million. Now, our goal for the ladder truck, when we purchased the ladder truck, our goal again was to get 12 to 15 years out of it in that ballpark. Now, unless we see some major issues, we're still putting into it anywhere from $6,000 to $18,000, $19,000 a year. And it's $1 million truck, so it's not going to be a $500 repair.
Repairs.
For repairs.
Yes.
So it's not a small compact car, so you're talking repairs that are quite expensive. The ladder truck is used more now than it's ever been used because of the staffing changes of what you have for little people. 2 people can't lift a 35-foot extension ladder. I mean, we could, but we're both being in the hospital with back injuries because you can't do it. Getting to the homes that we're building today, setback requirements, the planning board, we've had this conversation before, when homes are sitting further off the road, you've got to have the reach to get to it. It's, high rises. It has nothing to do with whether you have a high rise or not to get to a rooftop. Chimneys are built in locations that you can't get to necessarily with a ground ladder safely. We're going to spend over $1 million for the guy that falls off the ground ladder and breaks something and doesn't come back to work. So anyhow, but that's not, we're not talking about the ladder honestly now, but that's the IP plan. I did, Dennis had some recommendations, and I tweaked it. I don't know if I gave it to you or sent it to you guys. I can certainly send it to you. He wanted to see a color gradient. Maybe it's what stands out a little bit more. Essentially tells you the same thing. It just shows, yellow when it's, or nothing on color, and then as we start warming up to it, it starts color, and then it gets to red. Shows you the same information, just how the flow is.
Any other fire station questions? I'm sorry. Did I just say that? Did. I said fire station question. Fire engine questions, pardon me. Okay. Any other questions of Matt about anything fire related? No?
Nope.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
How about the roof? You talking about that?
Oh.
Safety?
Thank
That was
you.
approved.
Yes.
Yeah, we approved it last week.
No, you didn't. On page 20. I don't think you did. I think you took out the, I didn't have that down. Did you say yes to the roof for
Took out the
150?
water and put in the roof, I remember.
Oh, maybe we hadn't gotten to the roof, but we had talked about not doing the water main from the
That's
elementary
correct.
school.
Yes.
In
Yep.
order to do the roof, so maybe we hadn't gotten up to it quite yet. That's where we were headed, I thought.
Yeah, I have no notes on the roof as a vote from last week. So we can discuss that. And if you have any questions about, we've been through that a couple of times. You have any questions on that about the roof?
What are the costs of architectural shingles versus the metal roof?
Certainly
For the
less by probably 25%. 20 to 25%. That's what it was here for this roof. And we put architectural.
Aren't you gonna make up the difference in labor putting it on?
I don't know. For the metal, we were going with the good quality of the standing seam, so there are no fasteners shown to the world. There's no bolts or no fasteners up there at all.
I would not put any with the fasteners on that roof, if we, other than the standing seam. You know, the amount of movement and we'll be up there rescrewing that roof. Someone will be up there rescrewing the roof. But
No, I'm talking about, I think it would be more expensive to pay labor to put shingles on than it would be the metal roof.
I see where you're going.
Probably. This was $21,000 more just in the metal roofing, and we did this for 68 labor and materials. So that's about a third more. For that 68, you're going to take the shingles off, so it's not a full third more. So I think 20 to 25% would be a good ballpark of a reduction.
And Donna, when we started talking about the roofing stuff a couple, months or so ago, and we started looking at it again.
Years ago. So,
Well, yeah, but when we,
Please.
for this budget portion here, all the architects and everybody we've talked to, they pushed away from a lot of the shingles. The only reason we looked at shingles then was for cost savings, but they again said it's you're putting something on it you're looking to replace it. I'll be surprised at one of these insurance inspections we're going to say our insurance is going to tell us that we're uninsurable at some point. We've got so many issues going on, so it's only a matter of time before it's going to cost a lot more money.
Is there any advantage or disadvantage to holding the snow on that roof?
The only thing I will say is I think that one thing we need to think of is that we can certainly put with the metal roofing. I think it's going to be great. I think the question will be is what problems we're going to have with snow removal around the building, because the way that building is set up is that back meeting room area, getting to the back of that building. We're spending hours now snow removal around the building. The guys do it during a snowstorm, and it's usually a full day by the time we're done. Between the shed, the outdoor equipment, the generator, that whole back side of the building. I mean, the building is 140 feet, 133, about 140 feet long. And then shoveling, obviously Tommy does a great job of getting as much snow as possible from the front doors, but we do a lot of snow removal. How much snow removal will we do when the snow dumps off the metal roof?
That was my question last week, is the fact that on the driveway side, in the entryway side, is that the snow coming off the roof. I mean, if we have a good snowstorm, and, we've seen it at the various stores around town when it hangs off, and I know other people that have had just house metal roofs of it coming down.
We'll put stops above those doors so the snow stays up there and just melts off. But we also
Yeah,
may
but
need.
can you really control it if we got like 2 feet of snow?
Well, it won't come off if you put the stops on there. But we may need 2 new doghouse dormers above each of those doors. That's a possibility.
That was my only concern, main concern
We
with
may
the
need a
metal
different
roof.
snow blower too, but that's okay. If we get the snow off the roof, it's not gonna cause a
The
problem.
building standards are gonna dictate what you're gonna put up there anyways.
Yeah, you could save money and put shingles up there if you want to, but I think we should start thinking more longer term here and doing things right the first time, and we know we didn't do
Well,
that
I
in
wasn't, I was
2000.
asking just for the difference because I
Yep.
was concerned. But I was more concerned with the metal roof and the snow that comes off the metal roof.
And if we get a sidewalk machine in this town, which someday we will have one, That could very easily go over there and blow that snow right away,
That's
before it
what's gonna
freezes
change.
rock solid.
Because
We may have a
I
shoot-
can't
yeah,
get my
obviously,
snow from my barn with my
roof's not
big snow
full.
blower.
So-
Yeah, because once snow comes off of anything, it instantly packs.
Well, remember-
Whether it's fluff or not, it just comes down and,
But this is so hot, and this is $150,000 because you have to look over it, it's insulated. There's gonna be 3
Yes.
inches, at least 3, if not 4 inches of insulation underneath this roof. Whatever it is, metal or shingle, it should melt off there only when the temperature's above 32 degrees. Pretty much like this roof right here, which is working well. You don't see icicles on this building that's thick as my waist on this building anymore, and we had them before, right outside Sherry's office. Every winter.
Yeah,
So-
we chipped it.
Any other,
Remember?
anything else from the
I
building?
have
for-
a metal roof on my house, and it doesn't build up to 2 feet before it slides off.
Slides
So
off.
it definitely would be something that they will have to take care of the slide off instantly, and then it won't be a problem. That's,
Yeah.
it just is, you have to understand too, that we just spent $1,250 getting ice jams off this roof for one time. So this should be eliminated with a metal roof, and I feel personally that it's well worth.
And more importantly, those ice jams are putting water in the walls, in the
That's right.
insulation, in the framing members, and that has to stop.
We had so much evidence of the water coming back from the back of the soffit, coming out of the wall. The icicles was horrific.
Yeah.
Now we've got 12 different luminous pantyhoses up on the roof that we look at.
All right, we're not going there now. That's enough.
Oof, right?
That's what it is. You can see them. They're visible. They're about 4 feet long. They've been stretched
All right,
out.
did I forget anything else, Chief, here? I forgot the roof, which I can't believe since it's part of my DNA now.
If I could just ask quickly, I imagine I know the answer, but the addition you wanted on the fire station,
Yes.
is that going to affect this at all?
If we put a new roof on this building,
Yep.
and there's ever an addition put in there, you're going to cut into that roof if you have an addition that same height, and you're going to remove some of this roof and put a new roof on for your addition, absolutely.
Okay, but it's not like you're going to have to replace the entire roof again whenever this
That's
addition comes
correct. You
around.
would not have to.
50% of it potentially.
And we have no idea what year the voters
that's
of the
coming.
town would want to
Right.
do that. And we don't know even if the selectmen want to go to November 2018 with anything yet. I haven't seen a strong sense for doing that. You know, if we were going to take care of the roof for the short haul and do that before this next winter.
Okay.
I mean, that's the biggest problem right now. Damage to the building because of water getting in because of ice dams and a poorly insulated roof.
This is an urgent problem. There's probably mold growing in those walls, and it's something that just has to stop.
Does that answer your question?
It does, thank you.
Anything else, gentlemen? Tim, Ted, on this?
Thanks.
Okay. In that case, you can stay for the rest of the riveting meeting if you want, or you can go have supper. But
Sweet.
Public Works, page 16 and 17. Let's see. Yeah, I think we're down now to, we were gonna hope to vote on things here tonight. You ladies remember hot topics here for this that we needed to ask David about?
I think we needed a price on Old Alfred Road, right?
We had the 260, that was the estimate from the paving contractor, and we had budgeted 130 in CIP for that, which would be the town share. Maybe I didn't have that a week ago in the document? No, that's a possibility. Let's see. Yeah, if you go to page 20, in row 518,
Like that.
Thank you.
that was in here last week. I'm not sure how we I don't think we just got that far, Donna, in the CIP. I think we ran out of time that night, because
Yeah, but I think one of the reasons isn't that why we were asking Dave? Because we were supposed to come up with, he was gonna have different figures, maybe final figures for us on Old Alfred Road? That maybe it was gonna be more than,
This is the final figure.
That is to
The
do-
only thing that I can tell you is, when they gave me this figure, where it is so far ahead into the future that it's gonna be done, the cost of the pavement may be, the actual pavement material might be less, or it might be a little bit more. So this number might be a little bit high when it comes time.
this number might be high when it comes
Yes,
back?
it might be, but that's only because of the cost of the liquid asphalt. That's what determines the actual numbers at that.
Which
time.
goes right to the price of oil.
So it
as well.
might be higher than this, is what you're saying, that the
It
cost,
could be.
okay.
Hopefully it isn't, but hopefully.
And there was also, there's been some chatter around town that came into my email in terms of grinding. And I answered it to the tune, and you jump in where I'm wrong here. Some of the paving on Old Alfred Road could be more than 5 inches thick.
Yes.
And ideally, that rototiller grinder doesn't like to go deeper without hitting gravel and mixing all that stuff up.
What it does, and I can tell you because I watched it and been part of it, anything deeper than 5 inches, it becomes big chunks. And so you end up having to spend money to weed those big chunks out, and remove them from the work, and it just adds tons of money. The other process that we could do is to mill it down 2 or 3 inches, and then put new pavement on top of that. But here again, we're adding more cost. With the shim, which the shim part of it is to, most of that road has too much of this. The shim part would bring it up to the proper percentage of pitch, and then we were going to put 1.5 to 2 inches of a base coat on top of the whole thing. And that shim would be starting a foot to 18 inches off the center line, because the center line is pretty good. The whole road is pretty good center line wise, so the shim would be on the outer side. And then also in that cost is putting gravel shoulders, new gravel shoulders.
Oh, yeah, I didn't put that in there.
This is line 518,
Yes.
and that's included in this price that we have now?
Yeah. And as long as this state will follow through with the conversation that we had, was it 6 or 7 weeks ago,
Giving us
They
half,
will-
yeah.
take care of half of whatever, but they have to approve what we're doing and the process and how much hot top we're using and so on and so forth.
So what would be the timeline then when it actually begins to get, Started.
I'm gonna guess it would be the end of July,
oh, so it could be done almost as soon as
as
this is?
soon as the money is approved.
But certainly before cold weather this fall,
Oh, yeah, certainly, yeah,
this upcoming paving season.
yeah.
Is that just a verbal commitment from the state?
Pardon?
That's just
At
a
this
verbal
time, yeah,
commitment?
but it is in writing. It is in writing that, I didn't have that paper with me, but they do have all of that spelled out in writing, so.
They have a program, I don't remember the acronym, whereby
I
they
don't
meet
either.
meet you halfway
Yeah.
if the community wants to do a project.
And one other thing that I want to I don't know if you're interested in this, I also asked him about, making the road unavailable for heavier trucks, changing it to 3 axles or more not allowed. And because of federal highway tax payments that people make, we're not allowed to do that. So,
The town is not allowed to
not,
do
Right, the town is not allowed.
The state could if they wanted to, but I think they probably would not.
Oh, they'd have serious problems.
Yeah.
Because we are one of the highest road tax states in the country. And so there are people out there just looking for something to jump onto that bandwagon, so.
I get calls regularly, can we keep the trucks off Old Alfred Road? And I now know the DOT answer to give, and we cannot do it as a community.
I don't know if any of you have traveled past Poland Springs bottling.
Yep.
But the town of Hollis had that marked, no trucks beyond this point, and they were forced to take those signs down.
That's why the state took it over.
Yeah. So now trucks can leave Poland Springs and go left and go out to Route 35 and head on a northbound direction. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm often fascinated by the fact that trucks go up 117 towards North Conway when you get up through Leamington, and it's this narrow road makes Old Alfred Road look wide by comparison.
They go wherever the GPS sends them.
Yeah.
Okay, anything else for David? Public Works related? We had talked about sidewalks in Star Hill Road before and not voting tonight.
Let's go to line 520, because there is a...
Yep.
Because it seems to be this is depending on whether or not Old Alfred Road is done. On White, the 75,000 for...
Yeah, Mr. Benton might not like that note in the parentheses, because I think that's more from me than him, but why don't you speak to Star Hill Road and where you see it on the priority level here?
Star Hill Road is a road that is, the pavement that is there is only 18 to 19 feet wide. There are a lot of trees that shade the road that need to come down. There's a section of it that's 450 feet long that's been gravel for a long, long time, and it should be paved. It's a road that has, I'm trying to think how many houses there are up there. I think it's
Dozen?
15 now. With the Avery Road. The Avery Road is a private road that's off Star Hill. So we're talking 15 homes that are, it's a road that needs the attention that I've asked for here. And,
Is it, you said it's only so wide, 18 feet wide?
yes.
Isn't there a requirement that the road has to be so wide to be a town road?
Well, the problem is there's only a 33-foot right-of-way up there. This is an old road that doesn't have 50 feet of ground or land to work with.
Is the land belonging to the homeowners, or
It's an old road and it's never been changed to, it was never a 50-foot right-of-way, that's the problem.
That's
So
not,
there-
that's
I've
not
never been up
uncommon.
huh?
That's
That's
not
not
uncommon.
uncommon in a town as old as Waterboro, so. Yeah.
So there were trees and
There are
did ax
4-foot wide stone walls, pretty much the whole length of the road. And the property pins are in the center of those walls. And there's only 33 to 34 feet wide between the property pins, so it's very difficult to go up there and do more than what we have. Most of it has curbing, so not only do you have a narrow travel way, but there's no place to put the snow. So we need to upgrade it a little bit.
We need ditches.
Pardon?
We need ditches to
Well,
get the water out of the
ditches are
bays.
a problem because of the stone walls. So,
Right.
we need to widen it as much as we can to the max, and we need to repave the whole thing. The whole road is in disarray.
Are you going to take out those stone walls? Is
No,
that,
really. It's not something that we want to do, because you can't take them to the center and you can't take their share of it, so it's something that really you can't take out.
Dave, where's the part that's not paved? Is it up past Dave's house?
No,
Dave's old house?
That's, you go up there, I forget the exact footage, but, it's up to where Dave Chevette used to live.
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
it's a little over 400 feet, I think it is.
And you still got that great big tree sitting right there at the end of Avery Road? Where the road turns almost
Yeah.
90 degrees?
Yes.
Anything else for David? And might I suggest, since we're not voting, and maybe we call it a night, because everything else that's on the agenda here is really
It's just a vote?
a review to prepare you folks from reviewing. Julie has her hand up, though.
David, you want to make a presentation on your salaries, get changing them?
We worked that out,
Oh,
we did.
Yeah, I had built a small merit increase in for Tommy into my numbers already.
okay, because the number that he told me, it's not enough. Because the overtime isn't enough either.
No, I'm sorry.
For,
Yes, Gary, I
we're
was
on-
gonna ask to change the overtime.
we're on page 16,
Yep,
line 423.
yep, the overtime I did want to change.
And let's talk about salary first. Julie brought it up there. So, in that line, the second line down, it says $48,000 for DPW number 1. That's Tommy Blackburn. I think he is due a $1 merit increase, which would include the 2.5% COLA. So essentially, it's about a 50-cent increase over the COLA. And that's the only change I know about that you wanted to do differently. And that's, in my mind, dollars-wise, if I'm wrong, Julie, tell me, that's
I'm
council.
adding it up right now because I had, hold on,
If you take his salary from this year and add $1,
two,
I think that comes out to just under 48,000.
I come out with 48,880.
If you add $1 to this year's, without the COLA,
Um,
don't add $1 to his 2.5.
Okay, no, then that's, I don't have the figures, but that's what I put in.
So add 50, you got the 2.5% COLA figure in front of you?
No, I don't have a pay sheet with me, it's been on my computer
Okay.
because I was working.
Well, we did this afternoon. I think the
Okay.
48 is adequate. I mean,
We did that.
Brianna and Donna,
Because you've got the figures that I gave you.
Yep,
Okay.
remember, just because it says $48,000 in here for DPW number 1, doesn't mean that's the exact salary or the exact number. It might be 47.5. I mean, I budget so that there's enough money in there to pay somebody. Just because it's listed in here doesn't mean that's exactly what they earn. Now, the overtime, we didn't talk about that today. You think
No,
5,000?
That's the one thing that I wanted, that was on this other sheet. I would like to raise that up to 6,000.
Okay. I mean,
Because I think
last
that-
year we spent 4.
Pardon?
Last year we spent 4.
Yeah, but we didn't do as much work.
We had some staffing
We didn't
issues.
have as many people.
Right.
I figured it on the rates that I had and I'm the one that gave him the 6,000 because there wasn't enough.
So you used the hours for overtime
I went back
last
and looked
year?
at how many hours they had and went with the 2 employees that would be working there with their hours overtime.
So you took the hours of overtime and then adjusted for more man hours this coming year?
Yes.
Okay. Well, then, in question mark, under my column, both mine and David's columns, put 6,000. Question mark, and we can
424.
deal with that next Thursday.
424.
Row 424, yeah, thank you.
And so on the 48 salary, Gary, you took and went the dollar on the 2017 and then gave it 2%, 2.5%?
No, I did the $1 on this year's salary.
That's what the 17, 18,
Yes.
and then gave a 2.5% on that?
No,
No?
I went,
Okay,
I'm saying I gave $1
Okay.
on this present salary.
okay. Donna, can I see that salary sheet you got?
Question on line 426.
Retirement, yep.
Why are those two figures in there?
David
So different.
chose to not do that, correct?
Yeah,
Okay, so when we did this budget initially, in the 10,750, I figured that in assuming he wanted to be in the retirement program.
Okay,
That's-
along with others, or that was just his?
Tommy's already said no, and what did I do for the 3,000? Was that in case
That was
Jason?
Jason's, I told you what to go with Jason's.
So that's enough for him, and he signed up for it, didn't he?
He's gonna be signing up for it, I don't know which way he's going, but I remember I told you, you'd asked me why there was a difference in the change, because I told you David said no,
Right,
and we reduced it.
and Tommy's still out.
Tommy's still out, we only
Okay.
have one
All
that's
right.
eligible.
So that was an employee's decision that we don't need the 10,750. Obviously, the biggest portion of that would be
Okay, so
David's
that,
decision.
the department recommendation would change on that too?
Sure, make it 3.
Okay. It's just that the red numbers jump up.
I put that in for a week ago for new. I put in that column, anything that was
okay.
new, I did that so it would stand out to you.
Yeah, I know it's red
Good job,
text
it
is
stood
most,
out.
It did. Anything else we can do tonight that, for conversations with David? I don't know of anything else.
I have a question that's not related to this, it's related to the community garden, to the fencing. It's on town property, right? If we needed to have work done, can we apply to the town to have work done? On the
We are
perimeter.
the ones that put the fence up.
Was it, what?
We put the fence up, we stumped it, and we just worked it into the town budget, the road budget that year. And that,
Over here or on the other end?
over here,
Over here, the community
Okay.
garden at the parking
Just want to
lot.
make sure you're talking about the same project.
yep,
Because I do have the budget for the request for the community garden.
Is that for me?
I do have one for you. I only have two.
I didn't get it electronically unless I got it today.
We just had the meeting last night.
Okay.
And part of the thing is we want to put up a new fence. Not a whole new fence. Right now, we have a fabric fence out there that the critters are getting in. So if Todd was here, he could attest to the
something
fact.
that we could use the same post, is that?
Yes, we could use the same post. So the biggest expense we're gonna have is the metal fencing. But we also wanted to put it down 2 feet into the ground.
Yep.
So we need to dig, so we don't know if we have to go out to privately to hire somebody, or whether the town can,
I don't think it would take any time to do that part, so.
There's a ledge out there?
It's pretty bony, but it's mostly small.
We need a mini
It-
excavator, or we
yeah,
do that
it's
with
just
our?
you just need
It's a
something.
pound machine.
Yeah.
We're gonna be doing work out there on the drainage for the pantry, so
Yep.
we'd be right there anyways.
Between us and the pantry, we need to do a little improvement for that low spot between the pavement out here and their sloped area over there, so it'll drain toward the lake very slowly. We have to create a new ditch out there, and that would need our machine and not a mini, so, that could be.
Because
worked out.
we're willing to do our own labor,
Yeah,
with
but
these
You don't wanna
items.
dig a 2-foot deep hole.
Yeah, I mean, we'd have to go out and either hire somebody
It's
or,
very bony gravel up there.
yes, I mean, it's nothing but rocks. The Boy Scouts had a hell of a time when they dug that pantry garden.
Yep.
But it's mostly the 2 feet is gonna go along that side by the generator, and then the back to probably 100 feet or so along that edge, that we're gonna be putting fencing 2 feet below ground.
$850 enough to buy all that fencing?
The pricing is on one of the other sheets,
Well, it says right on the front page here, you got above ground and below ground.
Yep.
Yeah.
but she, on the last page there, is the rolled wire,
Galvanized.
and she priced it out to do that one wall, to do 2 walls of it.
Right, but this pricing reflects the 850 on the first page, doesn't it?
Yes,
This is regular 6-foot tall chain link fence?
no, this is
Oh.
galvanized steel rolled wire.
Oh, it's 2x4? Oh, it's
Yeah,
only,
two-
so, that's only gonna be
2-inch by 4-inch grid.
It's only gonna be 3 feet above the ground.
No, it's gonna be 5 feet.
Not if
Says-
it's 5 feet tall and 2 foot sunk in the ground.
No, the additional, it's in the second or third paragraph down. Underground 2-foot fencing. And that's different, there's 375 feet, and that's another $350.
Is it the same piece that's above and below ground, or is this?
No, it's gonna be separate.
Well, why would you do that? Why not buy 6 to 8 foot tall piece and just,
Very wide.
yeah.
It was, I don't know, it was probably because the rolls,
That's a bunch of
25-foot
labor.
rolls, it's not as expensive.
Because you're gonna have a gap that you're gonna have to close.
Yes.
You're gonna have to wire that together somehow, yeah.
You can do
I
it.
mean, right now, we have stakes that we pin to that wire right now and have hammered it into the ground to try to keep them from coming through, and they still haven't come through. But it's a sizable increase in our budget.
Yep.
From 400 to 500, and it's like $1,600 this year.
Could we use C-clamps as well, better than wire ties, because then they wouldn't come apart? C-clamps for fencing, 'cause that's what we used on our cages.
They probably will use the same material they use when they put the fence on the rails. It's
It's soft wire.
it wraps around and just locks itself on,
Yeah.
so,
Okay. But I was thinking this way, putting the pieces together.
yeah.
Right, so on the bottom of page 20, last act for tonight, I guess. Row 534, under the department recommendation, put 1626, 1,600, oh, wait a minute, what's this other, approved and estimates? Oh,
Yeah, the 1626 is what the garden committee approved.
Okay, $1,626 under the column B as in boy. I haven't even read this yet, so I'll fill mine in later.
Did you
Okay.
have anything from Old Home Days yet?
Not for detail, no. I'm
So have you made your decision, or are you gonna think about it?
on the old home days?
No, on the community garden.
No, I need to read the budget first.
Okay,
I just got it.
that's okay, but I thought I'd submit that in.
Yeah, and old home days, just so you know, I've been asking for detail. They went from 19,007, which has been the number
Oh.
for a while, to 25. And 25,000, so. Did I put that in there?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah. I need some detail, so I'll get it. If not, it might go back to 1907, so. They want to do some more things with stages over there. They're spending more money on stage. I mean, I think the world of this group that's, you know, come out and resurrected this event. That's wonderful. A lot of, especially younger folks, younger families and parents. So I like what they've done, and they're doing a good job. They want to do even more in terms of music and staging, and there's a lot of cost for that. I understand that, but you folks need to see that. You know, you're going to have a 33% increase in the budget and no detail. I mean, the first thing you're going to ask me is, what are they spending it on, right? I don't know. So I'll find out. Okay, good or bad for a week from today, 4:30?
I'll be here.
Good.
Basketball,
And they have to go and
Yeah,
Get to go.
drag Mr. Southworth here a week from today. Thank you for being here. I don't think we need you here next week,
Okay,
as far as I know.
just let me know.
So, this unofficial meeting is unofficially adjourned at 5:53. Thank you, Ted and Tim.
Thank you.
Off to my next one.
Being here and for being
See you. Thank you.
Good night.
Good night, Brad. I'll get that for you tomorrow.
here. What if I get union wages, give you